Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Presents Thursday Night CrossFit Talk. We are so pumped for this. One of the things we want to bring on this show every week is community events, things that are going on in the CrossFit community that are helping the community overall. And so I'm so glad to be joined with my co-host, Jamie Latimer, and Mark Moss from Uplift. Mark, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Scott. Oh, I got a little echo. There it goes.
It'll go away a little bit. It's our new soundboard. For some reason, right off the get, there's a little bit of an echo, but it seems to go away as we get into the show.
Gotcha. Thanks so much for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here. So we got to start with the who, what, where, and why Uplift is. So I heard your interview with Chase last year on Get With the Programming. So you just started this a short time ago. And what was the antithesis behind that?
So we started this thing last year, and I guess let me give you a whole background. So my grandfather committed suicide 10 years ago in April. And so every April that rolled around, it was just hard. His birthday was in March, and then April that happened. And so every spring it was just it was difficult, And so year after year, I was just like, all right, this stinks, But last year I was like, all right, let's try something new. So it was originally going to be just me and I think two of my buddies. We were just going to go in the garage and do a workout and post something on Instagram, something small, and then talk to my wife, and because my wife's the best. But I talked to her, and she's like, why don't you do something bigger than just you and two friends? I was like, oh, okay. So I started putting things together in my brain, and I have a good friend in Walker, Justin King. He's actually made regionals a time or two, and he actually made the games as a master several times. He owns a gym and a t-shirt print shop, and so I was like, hey Justin, what if we did like a workout and then like shirt sales to try to raise awareness for suicide awareness or suicide prevention? And he's like, let's do it. And so last year, I guess April or May, I kind of ran the idea by some people, just some local gyms around. I'm from Louisiana, so kind of on the North Shore, and like CrossFit Franco's, Finish Strong, some gyms around me. And then I started posting things on social media, kind of asked some people of, hey, what do you think about this? And then they're like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. And so Brandon Luckett, he's actually a games athlete, and he's on Misfits, CrossFit Franco's Misfits team this year. Asked him, I was like, hey, buddy, can you program me a workout? And he programmed a workout, got the shirts kind of out, and, people really responded. We raised close to $15,000 last year in shirt sales. And then there was Corey's definitely my biggest hype man. Yeah, he still is. But, just got it out and people really responded. So it was really, really, really cool. And then this is year 2. So excited to do this thing again.
So I know my family's been impacted by suicide. I'm sure many people in the audience have been impacted by this as well. So it's something that's near and dear to a lot of people. Why the name Uplift?
Good question. I just feel like that's really describing kind of what we're doing. We're trying to uplift other people, uplift yourself and uplift other people, because you don't know what people are going through. And all it takes is, you being nice, you just making eye contact, smiling. Like, I coach at a CrossFit gym, and I can't tell you how many times at 5 a.m., people would come and go, and just saying, "Hey, goodbye, have a great day," and then like kind of laughing and smiling. But you never know what somebody's life story is, and how simple something as "Hey," or "How are you doing?" or "Hey, I care about you," or "Have a good day." So I'm just trying to, influence other people and just be nice to other people and uplift others, and treat others how I would want to be treated. So
last year, Brandon did a workout, and that was kind of the focus of Uplift, and you did shirt sales around that. Is that the same format you're going with this year?
Yeah, this year will be a partner workout. So kind of it goes with the theme of, uplift somebody else. But yeah, same type format. I actually have a website this year, www.upliftwod.com. So all the shirts, and we have a new shirt this year, as well as pre-orders for hats. And then the shirt from last year, we had quite a few of those left over. So we're selling those as well. And then all the proceeds that are collected go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
I think that's amazing. So you have the website. When is the WOD going down? Is it like one day where everybody kind of does it on the same day?
Yeah, that's the idea. I know we had a couple gyms last year do it like a week later, but this year, September the 2nd is the date. So it's the first week of September, and that's the date. Brandon's working on the workout right now, so should be up soon.
That's Labor Day weekend. Is that going to be the theme or the plan going forward, that every Labor Day this will be?
I didn't think about that, but yeah, potentially. Hopefully, depending on local area competitions. I know Beach Brawl is around then, and then Raging Games, they have some big competitions around then. So I just want to be wary of those, and just allow as many people to do the workout as possible, and just spread love and uplift others.
Yeah, I know the Pit Fitness Ranch for the teen athletes goes on that weekend. And it'd be cool if we could figure out a collaboration with them, maybe like get something for the teens to do that weekend as kind of a thing with it as well.
Yeah,
because I'm connected to that in some way, and I can reach out to them and see if
fantastic.
Off that weekend. I personally, my daughter had 2 friends when she was going to school commit suicide. It completely changed her life.
Yeah.
It changed the direction and what she wanted to be when she grew up. And it took us a lot of time to get her over what had happened.
Sure.
And I think that is probably the thing that the people who are in that struggle don't realize is what they're leaving behind. And it's hard. It's hard for us who are left behind to deal with the fallout from all of that. And if they knew that people cared about them that much, that it impacted their lives that much, I think that would make a big difference.
Absolutely.
You told the story of your grandfather on Get With the Programming, and I know that was tough for you.
Yeah.
And we don't need to take you all the way back there, but if you could just give like a brief recap of kind of what that day was for you, just because people need to understand the impact this has on people's lives.
Yeah. So sorry.
No need to apologize. This is tough. This is a tough subject for a lot of us. And so, but we need to know the impact. And you loved your grandfather dearly.
I did. Yeah. He beat me in golf a lot. So we definitely had a good connection, but, I was a junior in college, and, it was the morning of April the 13th, so a Saturday morning, and my parents and I went to a movie the night before, kind of near their house, and went to a movie, and we were supposed to go over to his house the next morning and like plant roses or plant tomato bushes or something menial. And woke up.
Okay. So take your
Sorry.
time.
And then my mom and dad are watching too. Woke up the next morning to my dad crying and saying that my grandfather was not here anymore, and listened to a voicemail from my grandma. And didn't know what had happened. She didn't know what had happened yet. And so my dad went over to the house. And it was at that point that we found out what had happened, like truly happened. And I just remember me like laying out crying on the floor for probably like 2 hours. Just kind of in disbelief and everything else. But yeah, you know, that day was stupid. But
And it's impacted you so much
yeah,
that from that moment on, you said, you told Chase that you paid tribute by throwing balloons into the air with cards on them and the names of the people you wanted to remember. And then it was last year that all changed. You wanted to do more than that.
yes, yeah, good point. So we every year, I guess in the springtime, it was like a Baton Rouge intervention of suicide prevention or something like that. Always hosted an event where we kind of do a walk or a 5K for a while, and then at the end we would write a note on a balloon, write a note to say, love you, miss you, this and that, wish you were here, and then let it go. And so that's really all we did. And just were kind of, I guess, followers of what they were doing. And so I was like, let me do something that I'm passionate about that can reach people in the CrossFit space that I think will benefit a lot of people and will help a lot of people and will reach a lot of people. And so that's where it kind of came up with Uplift in the workout.
And did you get that idea from other organizations, other people doing WODs for a cause or for a person or for whatever that was?
Not really. I kind of looked at like Murph, and I'm like, okay, like that's a big scale, but if we can resemble something like that where people do a workout and then you kind of remember and allow people to put awareness to something, I thought that was pretty neat. And the CrossFit community is such they embrace so many things. And so I was like, all right, let's give this a whirl. Let's give it a go.
So let me see if I can pull up the website real quick.
It's pretty rough, not gonna lie, but it's getting there.
Well, do you have a picture of the new shirts?
On my Instagram page.
Okay, I will go there. Just give me a second. And then just to remind everybody, they can order the shirts on the website.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they can order the shirt on the website, and it's going to be a pre-order. So it's going to take, I'm going to give, Justin, he's my dude. So he prints all the shirts and then send them out. Last year was a learning experience. So my wife and I, we hand wrote every single address. And so I messaged Vindicate with I messaged Travis. I'm like, yo, dude, like I need some help. And he's like, well, this is what kind of I do, and then you can take that and run with it. So I'm gonna try to do that this year, and hopefully it's a little more efficient on our part.
So there they are. Last year we had a white shirt. This year it's going to be a black shirt.
Yeah.
Nice and slimming for us Clydesdales. And there it is. And on the front it says Uplift. On the back it says American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Proud supporter. And anything you want to say about the shirts?
What's really cool from last year is I've seen the Uplift shirt kind of everywhere. So a couple weeks ago, I forget who messaged me, and they said, "Hey, go to this video at this particular time." And it was a photographer wearing an Uplift shirt at HWPO. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then, Scott Tetlow wore the Uplift shirt at Rogue Invitational whenever he was lifting the heavy log. And then, they're just kind of everywhere. I've seen them across town. And then obviously, one of my buddies, Bryce, he lives out in, I think, Virginia. He wears his and posts it. And then Jim Broski, the guy who does the Hero WODs every day, I sent him a shirt and he wears his from time to time. So the white shirts were pretty popular. I'm hoping the black ones are people like them, and just remember that it's, for a cause. So
is that the correct website address?
Uplift WOD.
Okay.
So no the.
All right. We have that. Yeah. Oh, there it is.
That's it.
It's in the chat. We will put it in the description following this show. So if people are interested in buying that shirt, they can go to the website and do that. Mark, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has been awesome.
And absolutely. Thanks so much, Scott, for having me. It's such a pleasure, and just trying to spread this word. Now, one thing with the shirts, I forgot to mention, the gym who sells the most shirts, they win a prize pack. So what that is a year's worth of programming from the EMOM company, and then some coffee from Paper Street Coffee, as well as protein and whatnot from FNX. So they can go online. If they buy their shirt, just put the gym name and the company, like it says company name at checkout. Put the gym name and company. That way I can have a running tally of which gym sells the most shirts.
Sounds good. I'll pre-order mine after we get off the air tonight.
Right on.
Well, thank you so much, Mark. Have a great rest of your night. And thank you so much for doing this for the community and for citizens at large.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that was Mark from Uplift. Again, we'll put the website in the description when we are done. Pretty emotional story. I know that suicide has totally rocked our lives. And I definitely want to support them.
Yeah. Awesome what he's doing.
Yeah. So we've got some things to talk about tonight. We did a ranking of all 40 female athletes at the CrossFit Games. This was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
It was.
Especially, and it's funny because I watched Barbell Spin's show last night where they're doing a new like conglomerate of people and doing the averages and coming up. It's like a college football poll. Like
okay.
1980s, 1990s college football poll.
Okay.
12 people all ranking, and then they're taking the average of the 12, and it's a top 25. But what was funny is Tyler was talking about how hard it was to start from scratch. Like, Brian Friend has been doing this for years, and he has spreadsheets that he just kind of modifies and manipulates over time. And yeah, starting it from scratch, like I'm keeping my spreadsheet because as we do this and this show grows and we keep doing this, I don't want to start from scratch again.
Right.
The other thing I want to do real quick before we get into that is one of our listeners is having a birthday today. Andrew Sten,
Oh,
our show. It's his birthday today. And so I want to say happy birthday, Andrew Sten.
happy birthday, Andrew.
I have known Andrew for a while. I met him in the judging world.
Mhm.
And then we have stayed friends beyond that. Met Andrew back in the day as a judge, and we stay in touch to this day. So with that, I also want to give a huge shout out to Holly Dugan. She is, guys, I cannot tell you how awesome this woman is. She reached out to me wanting to do some stats, do some research, do some stuff like that. And she asked if she could help us out. And I thought, well, we'll give her a shot. And it's only been 10 days. And I cannot express how awesome she is. The only thing I will say is today we got 3 different spreadsheets. And as we were getting them, I kept wanting to change my list, but I'd
I know.
already made graphics.
I agree. I was like, don't even look. Like, it is what it is.
And she has done a lot of things. And what I want to do first is, gosh, and I didn't have that pulled up. So Jamie, you entertain the audience for now. She did a just overall kind of general notes on the field at large, and she made a graphic of that.
Oh, yes.
And I cannot get my fingers to work on this mouse right. Oh my goodness. This is awful. It's like I've never done this before, Jamie.
Sometimes we're professional, sometimes we're not.
I have all the graphics for our countdown already up there, but I wanted to go through this graphic that she had because there's really some cool information on there. And that graphic came earlier this week, correct?
Yes, two days ago.
Okay, got it. All right. So I'm going to download this and I'm going to see if I can load this into the system. Like I did before, I probably have to save it. I don't know. Oh, well, I'm going to try a different way because that did not work. Yeah, we're good at this, people. Okay, here we go. So this is the graphic. I'm going to try to blow this up. Oh my goodness. My computer is acting the fool. What in the heck? Are you still there, Jamie?
I'm still here.
As I'm trying to blow this up, it keeps like wanting to shut StreamYard down.
Oh.
And it did it again.
I mean, oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right. There we go. Here we go. Demographics for the athletes, the female athletes in the CrossFit Games field. The average age is 27, the height 65 inches, and the weight 150 pounds. And she grabbed this from data that was reported on the CrossFit Games website. So that is how accurate it is.
Yeah.
Is whatever they said. This is so much fun right now. Oh my gosh. I have to do it one-handed or it shuts down StreamYard for me. So now I can't see you, Jamie.
I can see.
Okay. All right. It almost shut it down completely.
Oh, no, don't do that.
And then you would have been on your own.
Well, do you want to just tell the audience what, some of these highlights are?
It shut it down on me completely. Okay. Anyway, Yeah. Anyway, let's just do the countdown. I'll try to pull it up at the end when I don't have so many windows open from the countdown. But at the end, we'll go through some of the
Okay.
some of the stuff later. So anyway, all of our picks are based on data that was pulled by Holly, and then are just gut instinct. And I'm going to preface this, and you can say anything you want overarching at this point, is that I have a tendency to have a bias towards what I see at regionals, not regionals, but semifinals, because I was just there. I just saw it, and I want to take into account that. And what I find is in years past, the games are not semifinals.
Yes. Yeah.
Any overarching thoughts for you when you were putting together this list?
Oh, I like to vote with my heart. So people can just judge me all they want on my picks. It's just kind of where I want, like, some are like, I think they'll be here, but more so I'm just like, I really want this person to be in the top 10. So I'm putting them there. So yeah.
And the last thing I was saying is I was amazed that, like, you and I had the same kind of groups.
Yeah.
There was some differences within each kind of group, but we kind of had the group. So let's start from 40 to 31. Here they come. So I will let you go first, and then I will say what I want to say after you're done.
I mean, these are kind of just my people I don't know a whole lot about. The tough one here for me was Jamie Simmons, whether I was putting her down here or not. Other than that, it's, sort of the bottom of your regions, or the regions that, if it was a worldwide ranking, probably wouldn't be there.
Right. One thing I noticed is Holly put together this spreadsheet where she put all the scores in from all the semifinals, and we have like a worldwide ranking of where they would have fell had this been one big competition. Now, I know there are other variables, floor surfaces, the East not knowing what the standards were until later, all that kind of stuff. And it was obvious that America East, Europe, America West were the dominant three semifinals. If you look at the overall rankings, there isn't anybody from another semifinal until you get to the 20th position.
Right.
So it was a lot of that. So anyway, like, I agree with you. Some of these people I've never seen compete in person. Like Shahad Boudebs, the only games experience she has is 2019. She was cut out for one event. Like, how do you know that? You had Paige at 37th. That is the person I do know. I had her a little bit higher. But the one thing that does scare me is I know she's dealing with a back injury. And it was touch and go in the East, and she barely got in. I hope that it is recovered by the time the games come. Everything else, like, after looking at the numbers, I'm pretty confident with. And that's what I'll say about that. And Jamie Simmons, like, when she was failing those overhead squats at the end, it just tells me, like, she's not the Jamie that I knew 3 years ago. So
Bruce wants her hired, clearly. Sorry, Bruce.
I mean, I like Jamie, but I'm going to tell you, list these 40 people and start ranking them, and what you thought people were going to land, there's not enough spaces to get them there.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, Bruce. I like to root for my fellow Jamies, and if I could have put her higher, I would have. I've always been a big Jamie fan.
Fellow Jamies. There's so many of them.
There's a couple of us. Not as many Emmas. There's, but there's a couple of us.
Why Rebecca so low? She's a rookie at the games as an individual. And if you look at the worldwide rankings, this is about where she lands. And I haven't seen her enough as an individual at other competitions to move her any higher than this, Emma. Just to answer your question.
Yeah. I mean, I thought she looked good at semis, but again, semis are not the games, and I feel like I gave her a pretty high placing compared to you. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So we will move to the 21 to 30. And their page shows up for me at 30th. And again, I looked at her past experience, and she's a mid-20s kind of finisher at the games. So I got her as close as I could to that, with unsure of the back injury, in all honesty. Bailey Rail is also dealing with a back injury. And 15 events is way more than 7.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why she's down there for me. The one that I'm not sure that I have in the right place is Ella Vunger.
Yeah.
She did so well in Europe, but I didn't want to like put all my chips in the region or the semifinal basket. So she's there. And then the rest, some of these people I thought would be higher, but there just was no room in the top 20 for these people. And so that's where mine are. Anything that stands out for you, Jamie?
You didn't have Sydney in your 30 through 40, did you?
I did.
Oh, you did. You had her down 31 through 40. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just trying to look at any other differences we have. But you didn't have Bethany in your 31 through 40.
I didn't.
Okay. So that's going to be our big difference.
Yeah. Sydney is a big difference. I think I had her at 32. You have her at 23. It's a rookie year. And even though her family's been to the games, she has not. And it's a lot in a rookie season, I think, to do much more. And she still has holes in her game.
Oh, yeah.
Then and I'll explain my Bethany thing when we get there. I honestly, before we started this list, I thought I would have Abby, I'd have Kelly, and I'd have Manon and Shelby in the top 20, but there was no space for them.
Agreed.
Scott living in 2020? 2020, I would add Paige at 22. I just, honest to God, like, I'm not critical of her. I just don't think I don't think she's healthy. And again, line up these names and see where you have space to put her.
Yeah, it was tough, guys.
So then we go to 11 through 20. And this is where we start to kind of differ a little. We're the same in some areas, and then we really start to differ. And I will tell you, after looking at the spreadsheets later this afternoon, I have Emma Tall way too low.
I mean, I only have 2 spots higher, so she's a wild card for me.
Who's that, Emma?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have it sorted by average finish in these worldwide rankings, and Emma Tall finished 6th. That blew me away. And after that, I was like, dang, I wish I would have moved her up a bit in this. Because when you look across the board, she had a really consistent semifinal. And I'm hoping now that Holly and us are getting to know each other a little bit better, for the men next week, we'll have this information a little bit earlier in the week and be able to be able to have that in our head before we rank them out. So, must be hard to rank people after getting to interview so many of them. Humanizes the names more. Oh my gosh, I cannot express how hard this was. Oh my gosh, Kenneth, I put Paige at 12. It's her second year. Look at the names that are going to show up above her and tell me who you're going to move down for Paige. Well, I didn't put her up there, so I guess Jamie.
That was a hard. Yeah, that one was one of my. I'm going to vote with my heart here and put her where I would like to see her. So,
I think she's going to have a great and top 12 in her second year is really good. She finished 25th last year.
Yeah,
like that. That's cutting the places in half in a year. Oh my God. Katrin, did you see her at semifinals? She is a different person than she was the last 2 years.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for that, quite honestly. I put her where I'd like to see her. I'm not so sure that that's going to be an accurate placement.
Complete transparency. I am not a Katrin fan.
Yeah, me either.
And that is as low as I could have put her. I probably should have put her higher after that performance and her experience. And she is great with odd objects. She is great with the grunt work at the games that is different than semis. I think she's only going to get better when the games come along.
I worry that same thing.
So, it killed me to put Emily Rolfe down this low, but I can't put her higher. I think a couple things that worry me are Christine Kohlenbrander, I think, is much better than she was last year. And I wanted to give her a bump. That's as far as I could have gone. Bethany, I had no clue where to put her. If she's on the floor, she's going to compete as hard as she can. And she proved that at semifinals. Like us thinking that she was hurt and she was going to lay off. The minute she hits that competition floor, it is all gas. And she is going all out. So I know she's going to give it her all. She's one of the best athletes the sport's ever seen. But will it hold up? I have no idea. And so I had no clue where to put her. What really shocked me is that Ellie Turner, I had her this low. But when you look at the overall rank of scores in the world, Oceania was way down. The entire semifinal was way down. So yeah. Emma Bailey, I was not part of Barbell Spins analysts, nor was Jamie. But I applaud what they're doing. I think it's a really cool concept.
We should be part of the AP poll.
Well, maybe we'll start our own UPI.
Okay.
And that only old time college football fans would even understand what that is. I agree with you, Clock. Ellie Turner is really tricky. She's a very powerful she's a very powerful athlete. But we haven't seen her in individual competition other than Rogue. And so I don't really know. And she did not dominate Oceania like I thought she would.
Agreed.
And thank you, Kenneth, for agreeing me on with one thing on my list. All right. So, and then, and the other one that surprised me was Karen Freyova. She's had a great off season. I'm looking here, but this is right about where she finished in the overall rankings, in the worldwide whatever that Holly did for us. So I was okay. I kind of breathed a sigh of relief there. Anything you want to share yours?
Nope.
Because I want to ask you why Amanda Barnhart's out of the top 10.
Mainly because I wanted to put Paige in the top 10. So you'll see.
She's an Ohio girl, an hour up the road. Like I feel dissed.
Bruce has a great comment.
That doesn't matter. Ohio State is trash, whatever. I'm not an Ohio State fan, so you're not affecting me at all. All right. So are we ready for the top 10? Because this is where, like, I think we're in the same groupings.
Yeah.
But we are vastly different on where we have them in this grouping. So here it is. Bam. Jamie,
what?
Who the hell is at number 1?
I didn't want to put Laura there.
Emma Lawson is going to win CrossFit Games.
Hey, she came out hot last year. Maybe she's learned a few things and she doesn't have the champ there to knock her down. So we'll see.
Okay.
I don't think she'll win. It would be cool.
Going Emma Lawson, question mark. So, you have Paige Powers in the top 10. That's what bumped my Amanda Barnhart out of the top 10. Okay.
Yes.
Other big differences we have. I have Gazan at 9. You have her at 5. Andrew, I have Carrie at 2. Jake Gazan is letting us know that we both probably have Alex too far down.
Jake, but I did better.
I want nothing more than Alex to do awesome. Actually, this is probably, like, of all the people we've interviewed, people in this group was the hardest for me to put them where they were. And there are people, I started this list with Annie way down. And the more I sat on it, the more I was like, that is not responsible.
Agreed.
Annie just keeps showing up at everything. And I have to give her due.
Mm-hmm.
So moved her up, which moved everybody else down. I thought I'd have Gabby McGowan too high. Again, that's one of those where I started her high and said, you're probably putting too many eggs in the semifinal basket and you need to be more realistic. So I dropped her. And then I said, Emma Carey did awesome at semifinals. So I moved her all the way up.
No rhyme or reason.
That is how awful it is to try to put this all together. I moved my spreadsheet around so many times. And this is what I landed on at 11 o'clock this morning. And so that's what I stuck with for tonight. But who, if we did this tomorrow, I'd probably have it in a different order. Because it is, there are a lot of women out with Mal and Tia out of the mix. It is a crapshoot as to what's going to happen. And I think the top 12.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting for sure.
So, again, I actually had Emma Lawson at like 10 and moved her up last minute to 5.
I mean, I could see her first or 10th. I don't really see her first, but I can see her top 3 or 10th.
Yeah. And I honestly, like, anybody in this top 10, depending on the programming, could be anywhere in this mix. I will say we did a poll on YouTube, and overwhelmingly Laura won for who's going to win the games. Like, I think it was like 80% to 8%, 8%. Bruce, you say Annie will not be top 5. There is no data out there that says she will not be top 5. She took second at Rogue. She took third at the games 2 years ago. Like, she took second in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Her average finish was second in the world when you put all the scores together. There's no data that says she's not going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, one of the daughters is going to be up there. And I picked the one I'd rather see, I guess.
Yeah. So there it is. Again, this was super hard. And if Holly wouldn't have helped us out, I don't know. I'd probably still be trying to put this together. Or maybe it would have been easier, but I would have just picked with my heart.
Do we at least get to like reevaluate this when we see some programming? Because I feel like everything will change for me.
Yeah, now that the lists are done, now we can tweak and we can do one right before the games. Once we see some of the programming, if we get to see the programming before the games, there have been years where we haven't got to see it.
Yeah, that's true.
Iceland is done being on the podium. I think I'd take that bet. Meaning, I think Iceland will be on the podium in some form or fashion at the end of the weekend. So yeah.
That would be great, Jake.
How are we not talking about Emma Carey placing? I like it, Scott. I like it a lot. Listen, this is what my thinking was, whether you want to buy in or not, is she had a year off. That had to help the body heal in more ways than just her injured back. She went toe-to-toe in the deepest field of semifinals we had and won it. Like, all the data on her coming back. And at Wadapalooza, before she shut it down for whatever reason, halfway through that event, she was winning Wadapalooza.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see anything that says she will not podium. And,
if she,
and here's the biggest kicker, and then I'll let you talk, Jamie, is picture it. If Mal wants to come back, Mal second last year on the podium, Emma second this year on the podium, both the same age, and now we've got the rivalry of all rivalries going forward.
And if Emma Lawson wins, no, I totally agree. I would just need to see more of Emma Carey to put her up there. I do think she's a force to be reckoned with. She looked amazing at semis, but again, semis isn't the games. And I wonder if 15 events may possibly break her down a little. I mean, like you said, she pulled out of Wadapalooza. So there's still like question for me with her. But she's definitely short up.
She finished Wadapalooza. She just took her foot off the gas for some reason.
Well, will she do that again? Is that too many? Is it going to be too many events?
Well, we'd love to disagree. So I'm going to ask you this question. Of all the young athletes in the sport, who is the best and most efficient mover?
I think Emma Lawson.
I think you're wrong. I think her name is Emma, and it's Emma Carey.
I don't know. Emma Lawson moves. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever watched Georgia Pryor move? Out of, she's like in Oceania, I believe. She reminds me a little bit of her, and she moves beautifully, like a ballerina out there. I think they both move. They just move so well.
If Emma Lawson wins, Jamie should get a walk-on as a Fit Wars competitor.
Agreed.
I think we can make that happen. Even though we won't have to. Oh, Carolyn, come on. You're supposed to be in my corner.
Listen, when we see the programming, I'm going to know if it's a good call or not.
I have to know, Carolyn, is it because she's Canadian? Canadians always stick together.
I like the Canadians as well. I'm partial to them.
I am too. Like, those are all the people we followed all year.
You can't say I have something against Florida athletes. I've got Danielle very high. And I do. I mean, I like Florida. I like my Canadian pals better.
And I'll be honest, I think ranking Danielle was one of the hardest things to do. Oh my goodness, Carolyn. I thought we were friends. Carolyn says she's a great mover, and I actually don't think Jamie's pick is crazy. She's very well-rounded and going to be dangerous. I should have gave Carolyn a link to this so you could team up on me. And
yeah.
I thought Danielle was one of the hardest people to place on this list because I think she is as talented as anybody, but I have not seen a competition where her mind didn't fail her at some point. Her mindset didn't fail her at some point in the competition. And you never know what that effect is. Once it happens, what's the fallout? Now, last year it happened and she still came back and did fine.
Mm-hmm.
But she missed the podium. So anyway, anything else way different? Yeah. And I think in this field, like finishing top 10 is a huge accomplishment.
Absolutely.
So, and if you finish anywhere in this top 10 against these athletes, you have accomplished something. And yeah. So with that, I will remove that. Is there anything else in the CrossFit landscape that we need to talk about?
I mean, did you want to go over MFC at all?
We can. I'm sorry. I need a drink.
Or we can save it for next week when they finalize the leaderboard and we actually know.
Well, I see, and we spent like a show last week about it, and I think when we get closer to the actual event, we'll do another show on it, and we'll probably both be there at some point that weekend to do some stuff live from there. But we can talk about you winning your age group's qualifier as probably the oldest person in your division.
Yeah, they had to move the comp up a couple weeks and totally screwed me out of that one.
Because like moving into the season, we're all excited because you're going to move into the 40 to 44-year-old division. You would be the youngest in that division, and you've done so well in the 35 to 39 at the upper end of that field. So you sign up for MFC and you're back in the 35 to 39.
Yep.
And you qualified in the number 1 position.
That's what it's looking like.
So, wow, there's still more questions coming in. So are you, now that you, how do I want to put this? You and I have texted about your performance in MFC, and you were one and done. You did them all early in the week. You didn't put a lot of forethought into them. Am I being fair?
Yes, very fair.
And you finished first. 1, are you happy with that? 2, does that tell you anything about your fitness at this point?
I think the workouts were very good for me, which is maybe why when I saw them, I was just like, oh, those are good workouts. You can just do those and not have to like fret about it. So it's, I mean, I feel like that's a true depiction of my fitness for that kind of stuff. So once again, it's just programming dependent for me.
Okay. So are you going to accept your invite?
That's the plan.
Okay. Anybody in the field that you looked at and thought, that's where I need to focus?
I mean, Lacey's super fit, who came in second. So, and she was at Legends. So depending workout wise, like she definitely will be a force.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about of MSC? Because I spent no time researching that.
I mean, no, I think that's good. We had a couple other listeners that participated and are hoping to get an invite. So we'll have to keep our eye on them.
Jeremy Eats World will get an invite. We just don't know to which division.
Right.
Corey is close.
Very close.
Very close to getting an invite. I feel like I'm missing one person.
I know.
Shoot.
I don't know.
Yeah. I will say.
Jim's going. He's already signed up.
Okay. So one thing and gosh dang it. I don't, this is why I hate talking about MFC, because I feel like it always comes with a caveat where I'm not as nice as I could be. What concerned me about the MFC, and I have been very outspoken about the way things went last year, I am still a huge supporter of what they're doing. And I think it is a needed competition for the Masters athletes in this community. A lot of the big names that were there last year were not on the qualifying leaderboard. Now, I know in years past they have done some invites to games participants, and maybe that'll still happen, but I hope that last year did not affect who signed up for the qualifiers.
I mean, I heard some grumblings about prizes and, and if the price to enter is higher and we don't know what is coming with that could even deter some people to, I don't even know if everyone knows what the price is going to be. And so when they get the invite and go to click accept and see what the price is, they may be like, what? It's more? Are we getting more? There's been no communication on that.
Yeah. Kenneth is the dude. Let's just say that.
Agreed.
He is the dude. This channel rolls and is going to blow up. And thank you so much for the $2. Gosh, I love our audience so much. we'll go back here. Why Alexis Raptis so high? Alexis finished top 10 last year at the games. She was sick all weekend at semifinals and still put together a top 5 performance. Worldwide 7th. Sick as a dog for the entire weekend. Girl's got skills. She is so young, and she's just she doesn't get lumped in with the Emmas and the Maus and all that stuff, but she's not that much older. So yeah.
I've always been biased to the TTT athletes, so you usually see them higher on my list.
Where would Dana play?
Podium.
Okay. So what Annie, who was further along in her career and not in the place where Tia was when she got pregnant, came back and finished 3rd. There's nothing, especially giving birth before this year's games and having a full year to train.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that gives me pause that she wouldn't come back and be just as dominant. The only thing that would change is like all these young competitors just getting better and better, right? But she's still, the mindset hasn't changed. She's still going to be fit. She was working out halfway through pregnancy. She's already back to working out now.
Mm-hmm.
The rumor is she's the alternate on the proven team. If something happens, we may see her at the games. So yeah, I have no reservation saying she would kill it.
Yep.
Next week's men's list, if Colton isn't number 1, I riot. Well, you better get your picketing sticks ready and your signs made because he ain't going to be number 1 on my list.
No.
I love Colton. Right, but yeah. Oh, wait. Now, Mark, that's not even fair. You got to give her some recovery time. This year, she'd finished 8th. I don't know. I just threw out a number.
She would be top 10. I don't even think. Yeah.
I couldn't even assess that because I don't know. So yeah. Other than that, you have anything going on this weekend? Anything big?
Nothing this weekend. I actually get to be home for a weekend and go to group class. No. Yeah, nothing. Aaron's going on a golf trip, so he'll be gone Friday through Monday or Saturday through Monday. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So you get some massive training in this weekend.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because there's no stop for Jamie. It just keeps on going.
I took a rest day today. Thursday's my rest day.
No active recovery?
I did like 7 minutes ski and 5 minutes bike. I was very, very nonchalant.
Yeah. I'm sure she dominates at the top spot this year, but you know, she's crazy fit and I'm not going to bet against her. Mark, thank you for being on. We appreciated having you. And if you weren't here for the beginning of the show, Mark was on talking about Uplift and suicide prevention awareness, and that you can get your Uplift shirts at upliftwod.com. With that, I'm ready for bed. All right. These retiring. I will post them out on Instagram at some point this weekend after the shows run a little bit, and then you guys can bash us in the comments. We love that. We love hearing from you. The last thing I'm going to say is I got to watch Rich's podcast today that talked about Dave, and it made me feel good that Rich said a lot of the same things I was saying last night on our Dave Castro show, and that it wasn't that I do have basis for what I'm saying. And if the GOAT, in my opinion, the GOAT says that, then I feel good about what I'm saying as well. And with that, thank you, Jamie, for being on. This is awesome. I'm starting to love this show. And Kenneth, thank you for the comments on Instagram. Made my night. Truly appreciate you. Bruce, Judy, Carolyn, everybody, we love you so much. And we will see everybody next week on the CrossFit Thursday night CrossFit Talk. Bye, guys.